I remember every day I would come home from school and I would just open my laptop and turn on these self-improvement YouTube videos, maybe something like this. And I would just binge watch them all night. And I would get so pumped, so hyped I'm like, yes, these are the videos that are actually going to change my life. And guess what? I'm actually gonna change my life. I remember that night, I told myself, okay, Jake, next morning you're gonna wake up, you're gonna take a cold shower. And then after the cold shower, you're gonna meditate for 15 minutes. And then you're gonna write 3 things you're grateful for before we head to school. So that was like, okay, productive morning routine I can kind of try. I wake up the next morning, I get out of bed, and I'm like, bro, I do not feel like taking a cold shower at 6 a.m. at all. But guess what? I'm like, okay, I set this for myself. Do the hard work when you don't feel like it. So I went into the shower, just closed my eyes, bro. I just forced myself to turn on the water. I get halfway through the cold shower. I'm like dying, right? And you can imagine my thought process like, okay, I got in the cold shower now, and I can check it off the list. And I've been in here for like 10 seconds, and I'm dying. And a million thoughts flash through my mind in like 1 second, and I'm like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm just done. No more. I just turn off the shower, go back into bed, don't finish the rest of my routine until I have to wake up for school and actually like get out of bed again. And that was my day. And oh my gosh, it's raining. All that motivation that I felt from all these videos just went down the drain the moment that my motivation was met with the need for discipline. I couldn't just like be motivated anymore. I needed to make a decision that was difficult when I didn't feel like it, and I didn't have like the necessary, let's say, currency to pay for that transaction. So to take a cold shower, you need to pay a certain amount of willpower, of discipline to actually turn on the water and stay in that water until your timer is up. For me, that was like 2-3 minutes. And after 15 seconds, I had run out of this currency. Not enough discipline. Because I had this like inflated version of what I thought I had, like a credit card of motivation. It doesn't last. It's not real. It's just a feeling. And we know feelings are fickle. Feelings come and they go. I'm not saying motivation is bad or anything, but I'm just saying if that is what you are relying on to make your decisions, that's ultimately just an emotional decision. And you know, making emotional decisions aren't probably a good idea. When are they ever? Right? And so not realizing the difference between motivation and discipline for me was pretty detrimental, because I thought having motivation was enough and it would just last forever and sustain me. So I was so confused. I was like, what the heck? Just the night before, I was like, I'm going to change my life. And now I feel like I should just lay in bed and eat junk food all day and just binge watch a Netflix series or something. And I don't know. That confusion kind of stayed with me for months, even years. And years of wanting to improve myself and change my life and actually be disciplined in something just never happened because I didn't understand the difference between these two things. So if there is one thing that I could go back and tell myself and just sit myself down, slap myself in the face and say, shut up, bro. You are relying on your fickle emotions, your desires. If you have to feel like getting work done in order to get work done, you're never going to get work done because you never feel like getting work done. And the slim chance that you do, like if you're relying on that, you're never like, right? That should be a bonus. That should be like the cherry on top. Okay, great. I feel like doing it. I was going to do it anyway. Now I'm just gliding through it. But if you can never do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it, I know it sounds so corny and like, oh, rah, motivate. Shut up. Like, if it's the truth. If you can't get it done when you have to, not that when you don't feel like it, you're never going to get anywhere in life. Rather than being the ruler of my actions and emotions, I was allowing my emotions to be the ruler over my actions. Okay, let me say that again. Rather than being the ruler over my actions, I allowed my emotions to be the ruler over my actions. So I would just follow whatever I felt and my actions would align to that. But then one day I was like, okay, I really don't feel like doing this or taking the cold shower. What if I just did it anyway? Okay, I don't feel like meditating. What if I did it anyway? And I did. And I learned that you don't have to feel like doing something in order to actually do it. Okay, yeah, obviously. But when do we actually make this a reality? We know this logically. It's so logical, but we don't ever actually apply this into our own life. Why is that? It's because we're avoiding the hard work. We're lazy people. You are the lowest version of yourself that you're willing to accept. My laptop is so wet. You are the lowest version of yourself that you are willing to accept. I'm just gonna wipe this real quick. Because men do not rise, or women, do not rise to the level of their goals or dreams. We fall to the level of our standards. If something is absolutely a necessity and you need it, you will always find a way to get it. If it's just a want and a desire, It's optional. Of course, you won't want it. Maybe you'll spend some time pursuing it, but you need to make something a necessity if it's something you really want to achieve. That comes with a conscious effort that sometimes you need to deny what you feel for the result, for actually getting it done. Consciously say, no, I'm not listening to you in my head. Whatever you're feeling, no, I'm not listening to you, I'm getting this done. And it takes conscious effort before it becomes a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it starts to become natural. And once it becomes natural, you start to change, okay, your paradigm, your identity. You're like, okay, now I'm just disciplined, right? Like you have to build that. It's a skill. It's not a character trait. It's a skill, discipline. The more promises you break to yourself, the less you're going to trust yourself, right? So you need to make promises to yourself and actually keep them. It's starting to rain so hard. You need to make promises to yourself and actually keep them so you can start to build that, right? It's a skill. You need to build it slowly. If you've made promises to yourself and you keep breaking them, of course you're not going to trust yourself. And honestly, discipline is just a matter of trusting yourself. It's how you trust yourself. You want self-respect? Build discipline. You want to trust yourself? Build discipline. You want to love yourself, right? True self-love is keeping the promises you make to yourself. Everyone tells you to love yourself. No one ever tells you how. This is how. Make promises to yourself and keep it no matter what, especially when you don't feel like it. So if you want to hear more from a 17-year-old trying to figure out life, subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us. And oh my gosh, it's raining so hard. Get after it.